I'm eating my words because like 6 months to a year ago, I said, I'm done with Steel Song. Never again. I'm moving on to something else. And yet here I am back in love with the deck and super excited to be playing it in Calgary this weekend. Hello, or even today. Hello there, Lorcana lovelies. Today I am going to be talking to you about my version of this current Steel Song list that I'm going to be taking to the CCQ in Calgary, or depending on when I post this video, that I'm playing today in Calgary. So this is my take on the list. It is kind of like, it's got the core of what's going on for a lot of Steel Song lists. And it's got a couple of one-ofs in it. So I have kind of a little bit of flavor for a couple different matches and hoping that I draw the right cards in the right matches. So let's go look at what my list looks like. I'll walk through it all and hopefully I make some right choices for this list when I go to the CCQ. All right, so here is, let's talk about first the core of the deck list, and to do that, we're going to talk about what a Steel Song deck is. So it's a tempo list, and a tempo list is a mid-range style of list. What a tempo list does is it destroys your opponent's tempo while pushing your own tempo and your game plan on. The way a deck like this does this is by utilizing its characters to be able to play more cards than it should be able to with the resources available on that particular turn. What I mean by that is singers. So you could either pay your ink to play the song, or you could use a character to do it. And it's much more advantageous to be able to use a character to do it because it leaves your ink free to play more characters and develop your board state. So if you can say, I don't know, pay 4 to play a big angel out, and you can have your little angel that was already out there sing a Strength of a Raging Fire and kill one of their characters, you can see how you have made yourself your own board bigger while getting rid of some of their good characters. Now, this style of deck does not necessarily quest a whole lot in the early game, or it doesn't need to. It's going to win in that like mid-game section there. If you can get some cheeky safe lore in the beginning, totally quest, but it's designed to be able to control the board first and then start to quest. So, what does the basic list look like? We'll start with the basic list, and then we'll talk about kind of the cards that I'm throwing in for me and the cards that I cut for me. So the basic list here is we're going to start with our singers. So our singers are Angel and the Troubadour, although there's a lot of other cards that can sing songs too. Those two cards can sing for over their value. Angel can sing for 3, and the Troubadour can sing for 4. They are both phenomenal cards, and I think kind of like good add-ins for Steel Song list. The Troubadour has resist, which is great, and Angel is just a little bit bigger than cards of her like the Singer 3 previous were. As far as our other cards go, if we're talking about singers, let's talk about song synergies, which is we have Ariel, Ethereal Voice. She's great. She's awesome. There was one time in Set Champs where I had 2 of her out boosted, and I was drawing like 3 cards a turn when it came to like my card for the turn and then my 2 cards off of the song that I happened to draw. It was amazing and great, although there is definitely some times where I've played her and I've drawn no more songs for the rest of the game. But she is good card draw, and you definitely need card draw in this style of deck. So she gets you cards by doing what you want to do anyways, which is playing songs. Nani is also so getting away from songs now. Other characters. We have Nani that gets us to draw cards, but she can only get you cards that cost 2 or less, characters that cost 2 or less. So we want to, if we're going to be playing 4 Nanis, we want to be making sure that we're playing enough of the low end of the curve to be able to get hits off of her. And the last kind of like piece of card draw, which is like an auto include in every single Steel deck, is Doc. Just play him, discard your hand, hopefully it's empty anyways, and draw 2. What else do we have kind of in the core of the deck? I have Grandmother Willow for the discounts. She gets you discounts on characters. I have Little Lilo for the kind of like the rush part of it. Plus, when you're empty-handed, you can start to bring her back from the discard pile. And you can chuck her to add to Big Angel and still be able to play her, which is great. On that note, too, we have Big Angel. So Big Angel can do damage if you discard a card from your hand. So it's kind of like turning any card into a damage-dealing song. Although it's not necessarily a song, but that's kind of how I see it in my head. I call it chucking snowballs because that's what the picture looks like. And I think that is awesome. I do also really love that if you're empty-handed, which you kind of are a lot of the times with this deck, she's got resist too, and that makes her really hard to deal with. We have Stitch, the Snowboarder Stitch, which is, again, a phenomenal piece of card draw. If you've got 2 or more characters out, which, again, you should, you draw a card whenever he quests, and he quests for 2, and, like, his stats are good. He's a 4 or 5. Those are kind of the characters that make up the bulk of the deck. And the songs that make up the kind of bulk of the deck are Angel Song, which I can't pronounce his actual name, Akudo Emudi, I think. It gets you a discount on your next character of 2, and you get to draw a card, which is great, which means on like dream turns here, on turn 1 you play Angel, on turn 2 you sing this. You have 2 kind of free uses of ink here, plus 2 actual ones, which means on turn 2 you can be playing Big Angel, which is great and awesome, and I have 0 complaints about that. We have Strength of a Raging Fire, which does damage equal to the amount of characters. So if it's early game, you can be doing damage to the characters that are out there. However, it's great late game because if you can really push your board to go really wide, you can take out pretty much anything. We also have Herald's Thunderbolt that does 4 damage to a chosen character. It also makes your deity characters have Challenger. That's never been relevant to me because I've never had deity characters in the deck that I'm playing this in. So those are my core cards here. We will go here to my deck list, and you'll see that it's not the only cards obviously in the deck. I have some other cards. So when it comes to our 1 drop spot here, people are either playing Rhino or Mulan. Argument for Mulan is she draws you and discards your card, and she punches harder in the early game if you need to be concerned about that. A argument for Rhino is that Rhino shifts into Big Rhino, and a 4/2 with resist is really difficult to deal with. Plus, Rhino can sing you all of your songs as of turn 2 as well. I personally am playing the Rhino package is how I like to play, and I really like that the Rhino package in this. So I'm obviously playing Big Rhino in it as well. I'm also playing a couple of like 1 or 2 drops because I think that these cards are good for particular matches, and this deck sees a lot of cards when it really gets itself going. I might have said it has problems with card draw, but if you can get your card draw engines established, you do draw a lot of cards. At one point in time, I think I had like 15 cards left in my deck, which again is great. It means you should be able to see your one-ups. My first one-up that I have for you is Bambi. Bambi is a 3/5, which is pretty decent, but you boost 2 for Bambi. And whenever Bambi is turned sideways for any reason whatsoever, could be questing, could be challenging, could be singing, only on your turn though, you get to look at reveal the top amount of cards equal to the cards Bambi is boosted, and any characters whatsoever that are there go into your hand. Bambi is phenomenal. I love Bambi, especially against aggro lists. Bambi is great because a 3/5 most aggro lists can't deal with Bambi very well, which means Bambi can swing in and attack those aggro characters and then draw you cards at the same time, so you can again be pushing your board state forward. I have Pluto as my other 1 drop. I really like Pluto, especially again against aggro and dogs. He is a 5/5, so he can really do a good amount of challenging. He can quest for 2, which is great. But the reason we're really playing him is that whenever you play another steel character, when he's in play, you get to blow up an item. And we're going to be blowing up Chromacons. I mean, we could blow up lanterns too, but really he feels good for Chromacons. Also, whenever you play, whenever one of your steel characters banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 2 lore, which again is phenomenal. It means that against those lists we really have to be challenging against, we get to gain lore by controlling their board that way. I also have a 1 of Goliath. Goliath is mostly for the control matchup. You could use it for other kind of like mirror matches, but if you're playing against anything that kind of empties its hand out real quick, like aggro or even purple steel, you don't want to be playing this card because you don't want to reload them. He's great against control because control, say, pitcher Clarabelle, when she draws a whole bunch of cards, it means that you're going to be forcing your opponent to discard your cards. Great feeling here. My opponent played a Hades, and I got to say, yeah, sure, draw cards. You have like 10 cards in your hand. I know I'm playing Goliath next, which means you're going to have to discard them. So I love Goliath. Goliath is awesome. My last card that is in here, character-wise, that you can see is Chief Powhatan. Chief Powhatan is awesome and great as well. He's a bodyguard. Only downside is he can't challenge, which means you can either quest with him or sing songs with him, but he is difficult for your opponent to get through, and he at least makes it so that they have to challenge him something big before they can kind of wipe out your field with challenging. Now, cards I'm not playing in this. I'm not playing Mowgli. The reason I'm not playing Mowgli is it's not really my playstyle. I always get it in my head that, 2-drop, gotta play it on 2. When Mowgli is more something that you want to be playing late game, and you more want to be playing Mowgli late game, because you want to be catching those actions right before they're being played. I mean, malicious and scary, or anything in the mirror match. You want to be able to play Mowgli to be able to catch those ones at opportune times. I think it's great. I think that if you like Mowgli, totally toss him in. It's just not for me. I'm also not playing the World's Greatest Criminal Mind, and the reason for that is because there's not enough big things out that I can't deal with Strength of the Raging Fire right now. However, if that's a problem, that one will be swapped in. So this is my list. It's in its entirety. I'm really excited to be taking it to Calgary. I have mostly pretty things list. I really wish that I was kind of on Josh a little bit more about angels. Really wish I had 4 angels. But I've got all my pretty versions of this sleeved up. And we're all ready to go off and play in the CCQ. I hope I'm choosing right. I hope I see a whole room full of dogs, because in the past, it's felt really good to play into dogs, and I have totally beaten control before. Just that's a much more stressful match for me, so bring on the dogs, I guess.